Hi again. We're going to go over another social RV session, social-rv.com. I'm pretty serious about promoting that site right now because of the level of legitimacy that they offer the practice. Again, I'm not affiliated with them. I don't have any affiliation with that site, but I appreciate the work they're doing. So, in this session, I'm going to kind of go fast on this one because I'm running out of memory on my phone. I initially got the impression that I was looking at something that looked like the overhead view of a mountain range, like it was like this curvy line that was light on one side and had a shadow on the other, and it seemed like the way that a mountain range seen from overhead would communicate itself. Now, pay attention, it's not actually overhead, the view, but again, the subconscious playing with words. First of all, it looks like an overhead view of the ridge, and also in the picture, I'm looking over the top of many people's heads. So there's the data overlaps. Now you can stretch that to try and fit your session way beyond what is reasonable. Some people do that. I try not to, but I make a point to note it when it happens because it's really fun. It's a really fun thing that happens when your subconscious takes an opportunity to just kind of thrill you a little bit. And that's what happened in this session. It's an overhead view. If you look at the sign directly in the middle of the image, it very closely resembles the shape that I'm trying to communicate. And I think at the very beginning, I was centered in on that, like hyper-focused. Sometimes in my sessions, I will almost be like zoomed in on one spot of the image. And I need to get better at trying to recognize that so that I can tell myself to step back, zoom out, step back and take a look at the whole picture. I say that sometimes. But then after that initial image that contained some good information, also talked about it being very tall feelings. The second scan that I did, I got the impression of the buildings. I thought that they were structures. They look like three-dimensional triangles to me because the angle I was looking at them at, I don't know where I was standing when I was there, but I was looking up at them and it was like this three-dimensional view of several buildings in a row, and I sketched it pretty accurately. Now, the important thing about that second scan is not necessarily the buildings, but the colors. This great piece of data came through that had all of the colors in it. I talked about shadowy greens and tans and reds and blues, but specifically, I said that the reddish colors, there's a reddish hue on the right and a bluish hue on the left. And that data comes through all over in this image. There's so much data overlap there. Look at the sign at the very top. There is red on the right, blue on the left. If you zoom out on the entire image, there is a great big red sign. The biggest screen there is in the image is on the right, and it's red. And then the other biggest image is the screen on the left, and it's blue. And then one more time, this image up on the upper right that I describe as a spine shape. It's got red on the right and left on the blue. It looks a lot like the one that I drew in that there are these dots on the right side and they kind of fan out to the left in these straight lines. I drew something very similar to that. I said that that shape was higher than the area around it, which is a great description. And finally, I said that the view of this piece of data was farther away at the top and closer at the bottom. And all of those pieces of data match the target image. So I did make good site contact on this. I felt really, really good about this session. I always like it whenever color communicates data that overlaps or just comes through very, very clearly. Color is one of those things that's reliable for whatever reason. My subconscious is decent at recognizing color, and I think that's a fairly universal condition. I think it's a fairly universal skill. Don't go wild with it. Sometimes I go wild with it and I'll start painting these beautiful pictures and I'll think that, oh, all these colors are going to be there, and then they won't be. But most of the time it's pretty accurate. All right. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed. I hope you're practicing. Keep practicing. Practice a lot. That's how you're going to learn. That's how you're going to develop your relationship with your own subconscious. And, be encouraged. Be encouraged in this strange and lovely practice of ours. I hope you love it. Remember, you can do this. All of you can do this.